All right.
Okay, so final systems checks here.
Yeah.
We've got audio, everyone's recording.
Sound check.
We got good
Fire,
waveforms.
Sound check.
Sound
Got
check.
water.
Sound check.
Check.
Nightfall.
1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3.
Nightfall.
Quietly crept
No,
in,
other Nightfall.
changed
Ayo.
us all.
Give me the night.
Yeah.
Something,
impression.
something.
And then Jill.
The wild
Ayo.
hunt inside my cunt. Something, something.
Something.
Ba-da-da-dum.
Suicide.
Which Dragonforce song is that one?
Suicide.
That's Nightfall
It's Nightfall and
on Idle Hands.
the other song that just screams
Double
suicide a
Negative.
bunch of times.
That's double
Yes.
negative.
Double negative.
Yeah. Give me to the
Great
night.
Great song.
Amazing song. Give me to the ages.
Ayo. The darkness is calling.
Oh my god, that album has not left my CD player since I got it. No lie.
I really hope that
fucking
that's
love it.
the Asian karaoke place that we go to at Prague Power.
It's
I
not
don't think
going
it will
to
be.
be in Korean karaoke. When
It's
you go
like-
to Korean
It'd be
karaoke,
way against the odds.
you're gonna find Sonata Arctica's Full Moon. You
Yeah.
probably will find Emerald
Oh,
Sword.
we know.
Oh,
we know.
Yeah, we went.
Yeah.
We were there
Yeah, we
last
went.
year.
It was full of power
Yeah.
metal. A lot of
Oh,
But,
yeah, that's
but who
amazing.
knows?
Rhapsody.
Maybe Korean karaoke joints really
Yeah,
dig
they also
emo,
had-
like goth rock, goth heavy metal.
Maybe the Koreans have been inspired by The Cure and are into gothic rock now.
Yeah,
Who knows?
Who knows?
Okay,
It'll be
should we
full
get
of, like,
started? What
Idle
episode are we
Hands
on?
And
We
Cradle
are
of Filth.
on episode 27.
Okay, that's all I need to know. Do you want me to do the intro or
Yeah,
something?
go whenever.
Yeah, whenever
All
you're
right.
ready. Do you want us to count you down, or do you want to count it down?
Yeah, just count me down, I guess.
All right. In 3, 2.
Sup, nerds? Welcome to episode 27 of Powerful, a Power Metal podcast. This is Stella, and I'm here with a lot of friends today. Wait, what order do I introduce you
know.
guys in?
You pick your favorites first.
There's Kyle,
Hey, I'm the favorite.
Wow,
Fernando,
Hello.
Biscuit. I don't even know
we're
your
not
name
using
anymore.
my real name. Everyone else gets
You're
a real name.
Biscuit. You're
All
Biscuit.
right, that's
I
fine.
don't know your name.
Yeah, that's fine, I guess.
Holy land.
And Dawn. Dawn's here
Hello.
today. Hi, Dawn.
Hi.
Today we have a stack of news and reviews for you in our hot cake of
It's
a
not
summer.
a hot cake. Fuck
Oh my
off with
God.
that.
in our hot cake of a summer episode. Did that work?
No,
No.
not at all.
It worked fine.
We're keeping it because we are recording. So too bad.
You just took this hostage.
I did.
Hijacking the show.
Yeah, the show will go on because I said so. And because I'm like super bummed that I missed the USPM episode because I fucking keep crippling myself. But anyway, let's talk about some news. And what could be more power metal than the kings of metal themselves? Manowar.
Manowar.
Yeah. So check this out, y'all. If you haven't heard already, Manowar was supposed to play Hellfest, which is a festival in France, on June 21st, 2019. And they were headlining, but they canceled at the last minute. The promoters claimed that the band had pulled out. So Metal Sucks is reporting that Manowar said the sound system wasn't loud enough and the stage was too small. And this stage, I have not personally been there, but bands like Kiss, Tool, and Slipknot also played that same stage. So since Manowar pulled out, Sabaton filled in for them at the last minute.
Yeah, props to Sabaton for being able to step up so quick.
Yeah, shout outs to Sabaton. And apparently Joachim Broden kind of injured. I don't know if he injured his voice, but he probably just needed to rest his voice because they played a show the day before.
Yeah.
So their guitarist stepped in to do vocals while Joachim kind of like played hype man and like had his dinner on stage. There's some pretty funny videos with
was
him
eating?
like at a table, like eating on stage.
They sure are
It's so
dedicated to their live
funny.
shows.
Yeah, that's a hell of a hype man.
I wonder what
So-
Sabaton sounds like with Tommy instead of Joachim. That's
You can.
interesting.
I think there's
Interesting.
footage. There's definitely
Yeah.
there's footage
Yeah.
up there. You can
That's
look
like-
for it.
Very different.
He should sing more, way more.
Yeah,
no,
it was great.
it wasn't Tommy. It was the other guitarist. It was Chris Rowland.
Oh, really? It wasn't Tommy?
Yeah.
No, Tommy,
it
he
wasn't
has
Tommy.
harmonies.
Even though
Yeah.
Tommy has actual singing ability.
Yeah.
But no, that would make too much sense.
We can talk about
But
Sabaton
anyway,
making
back
sense
to
later.
the Kings.
Back to Manowar.
Yeah, back to the Kings of Metal. Manowar claim. So Manowar was like, no, Hellfest organizers canceled on us. We didn't cancel on Hellfest. So they posted a statement from their Facebook page. Should I read it or like
I'll
should we just
read
sum it up?
I'll read an excerpt. This
Yeah.
is a bit that really shows how dedicated to their fans Manowar are. Now I want you to think about something. We have played just this tour 30 different shows, 30 in 13 countries. We played a show in Israel, didn't have any problem. We played 9 shows in Russia, no problem. 1 show in the Ukraine, no problem. 1 show in Belarus, 2 in the Czech Republic, 5 in Germany, Denmark, 4 in Norway. We played to 650 people at the fucking North Pole in a city that has 2,000 people and 4,000 polar bears, okay? So don't tell Manowar are fucking divas. We went there because we wanted to play for the people that live there, because they never had a metal concert. We played 4 shows in Norway, 2 in England, 1 in Switzerland, 1 in Greece, 1 in Bulgaria, and we're here on stage tonight in Turkey. So you tell me who's wrong. You think it's Manowar? That's wrong. 1 country, 1 fucking show out of all of these, and there's a problem. You tell me who fucked up.
That's an excerpt of their several-minute-long rant from a show in Istanbul.
That's Joey DeMaio, who is extremely well versed in spoken word. And just to give some
Eloquent,
context, this was in the middle of their July 2019 show in Istanbul, Turkey. So they just stopped playing, and DeMaio just went on this huge rant. That was just 1 paragraph out of like 70.
Yeah.
And they also were like, we don't take shit from nobody. And then they're like, gonna sue Hellfest and take the money and play a free show. And you all are invited, everybody from around the world.
Now,
And that the lawsuit will be made public.
yeah.
And
I especially
yeah, the
love the
saga
fact
continues.
I especially love the fact that they specifically call out the fact that they are not divas.
They are definitely
Yeah.
not divas.
They are not divas. They are not drama queens. None of that.
No, none at all.
and this is
Absolutely not. There's no way to like imagine you are a Manowar fan from Istanbul and then you're like so hyped to see your favorite band play and then you love their songs and then suddenly they just stop playing and then they start ranting in English for like I don't know. This is a lot of paragraphs.
And-
I don't know how long it actually took.
and we actually have a bit more detail before because they actually dropped on the day they were going to play, and they were there at
Oh,
the
it wasn't even the
festi-
night before. It was the day of.
Yeah, like the announcement by the Hellfest festival was made on the day on June 21st, and they were there on June 20, which was first day, and then on Friday they had to announce that Manowar just left, and that's kind of the way they worded it, that they just left, and then a few hours later, Sabaton came to save the day, and it was announced that they would play. So people started asking questions, obviously. Why did Manowar leave? There were a lot of comments on Hellfest announcement from people that had traveled specifically to that festival just to see Manowar. There was one particularly liked comment from a fan that went all the way from South America to France, where this was happening,
Yeah, it was France.
just to see Manowar, and got
Yeah, they
duped.
were headlining a festival.
Yeah.
That's a big deal.
And so the first response from Manowar was that they would set the record straight, that it wasn't their fault, that they, and the thing that they have done before, saying that they would only play if they can guarantee the best show for their fans. But with that mindset, the best show for the fans was no show in this case. And then after a while, people started poking around, and the running rumor, like the running theory, is that from different sources is that Manowar wanted to do a full sound check and dress rehearsal, but they wanted to do it on the day before, on first day. But on first day, there was a festival date because first day and Friday was a double in the same venue. It was like a double feature. You had Hellfest on Friday and you have Notfest on first day. So Manowar couldn't have the stage on first day. And apparently that's the reason they left. And apparently the rumor says that they wanted on first day because they didn't want to do that in Friday morning, which would imply they had to wake up too early to
Oh my god. Yeah.
rehearse.
So in Manowar's statement, they kept emphasizing that we want to give our fans the best performance we can, and we will not be pushed around by Hellfest promoters who chose not to honor our contract.
But it seems wrong to like completely cancel the show. Isn't that screwing your fans over more than giving them a whatever you would see as a subpar performance?
But they're
Definitely.
not divas, Kyle.
They're not diva. Excuse
No.
me. I'm sorry, Joey. Don't sue me.
Oh my god.
Well, this is probably still an ongoing lawsuit.
Yeah,
We'll probably
this
learn
is
more as time goes
ongoing.
on.
We will keep an eye on Manowar in the news, because it says the lawsuit will be made public. So
We'll see.
And hey,
Yeah.
if they do that free show, that'll be fun.
you're all invited.
Everyone's
Let's
invited.
go to whatever country it decides to be in,
Mhm.
because the Earth is totally travelable. Right?
Totally.
Right.
Totally,
Yeah.
everyone that missed Manowar at that festival has enough money to travel to whatever country they choose to throw this
Oh, right.
free
Yeah.
show.
Surprise international travel. Everyone can afford that. All right. So, in other lawsuit news, this is totally not power metal related, unless Katy Perry is power metal. But
It's close
we
enough.
just thought there was an interesting recent story about a Christian rapper suing Katy Perry for a synth riff.
Yeah, this
Do you want to talk more about that, Fernando?
this is bad for music in general, legally speaking. So
Okay, let's just sum up what happened first.
so we have this Christian rapper that is suing Katy Perry over her song Dark Horse, based solely on a 2-bar long little riff that repeats throughout all his song, that appears a couple times on Katy Perry's song. The songs are nothing alike. They don't have the same main melody. They don't have the same structure. They don't have the same chord progressions and nothing. But they won a court case on copyright infringement anyway, a $2.4 million penalty for copyright infringement, which is nuts.
And we don't want to play this. We don't want to play this riff because we're gonna get fucking sued. But it's literally 2 bars of all eighth notes, and there's like 3 notes.
yeah, it's like just a little descent on the minor scale, and it's insane.
Do you think we'll get sued if we sing it?
I don't want to. I don't
Oh
want to
no,
risk
I don't
it.
want to risk it.
Let's-
I don't want
let's
to
not
risk
risk
it.
it,
no.
We're gonna get fucking
Please.
sued,
But
and we can't afford it because we are a tiny podcast.
and the problem with this is not that we are dying fans of Katy Perry and we're sad that she loses a bit of money. Is that it sets legal precedent, at least in the United States, for silly and completely unfounded copyright claims that can really damage artists at any level. And this is really bad. Like, just based on this precedent, half the power metal bands can sue the other half for copyright infringement due to they use the same the 1 2 3 little movement in minor that everyone uses every riff, and it's like, no, You can't do that. And it was all done with based on the testimony of an expert witness, musicologist, that just they demanded a trial with a jury. And when you have a jury, which is to be expected that is not full of musically trained people, you just go over them and just flabbergast them with a lot of fancy terms, and you win. And that's not nice.
Like, you should be able to copyright just like a basic building block of music and songs. So
Right.
hopefully this gets like overturned or doesn't set a horrible precedent, but it probably will. And that's bad.
Yeah, we're just speculating, like, literally everybody who's inspired by Iron Maiden. I don't know which direction the suing would go in.
Yeah, that's a big
It's like
problem.
yeah. It's like, would this small band be suing Maiden for like, oh my god, you have like a galloping bass line, like holy shit, fucking infringement. Ugh.
Don't give Manowar any more ideas, man.
Yeah.
Oh no.
Yeah,
Because
that's
Joey
terrifying.
DeMaio is definitely listening to this. We love you, don't sue us.
Hail and kill, man. Hail and kill. Yeah.
Hail and kill.
Yeah, sure. So this is really not cool for the music industry in general. I know this
This is highly disturbing
Yeah.
for any musicians and fans of music out there.
usually metal, and specifically power metal, is like so. This is not to say derogatory, but it's at a level of movement of money that usually nobody is suing anyone. But
I hope not. Shit.
this can impact, like you could have, I don't know, companies buying rights to recordings from artists just to be able to sue other people on them on completely baseless accusations, but that now there's precedent that you can actually get away with it, and that's bad for everyone.
Yeah, you can. This is precedent that you can copyright riffs,
Mm-hmm.
and like there's only a certain a finite number of ways you can arrange like a series of notes. Like we talk all the time about like certain riffs sounding similar to others, which we'll elaborate more on later in our review section.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, it's really dangerous if people can start suing each other based off of possibly accidental similarity in melodies.
If you are interested on learning more about this, there's a great video by Adam Neely, which we'll link in the show notes. And
Yeah, all of this will be linked in the show notes.
go check it.
So you can, yeah.
Let's talk about something happy. After all these
All right.
horrible
Yeah.
lawsuits.
Okay, yeah.
Let's talk about
the world
people
of music
coming
is not all
together.
doom and gloom.
Let's talk about people coming together and
Ooh.
uniting and coming alive. And
Oh
who
wow,
better
uniting
to do
alive.
all of those wonderful things than Helloween, the godfathers of EUPM. What have they been up to recently, Andrew? What have they been doing?
Well, Vakken was like 2 days ago, so naturally the Pumpkins United headlined Vakken. Obviously, who else would do it? Sabaton? Yeah, they also did, but they did.
Yeah.
But we got a cool live video of Pumpkins United out of Vakken, and they announced their live album, right?
Yes.
So yeah, Helloween's live album is going to be called United Alive, and it's going to be released October 4th, 2019.
Yes.
And they've released this like live video, which is really cool. It was published on August 2nd, 2019, and it's a performance of their single song, Pumpkins United. Single song,
Yeah.
Pumpkins United, featuring Kai Hansen, Andy Darius, and Michael Kiske. And it's a pretty badass song. We've like raved about it before, and it has really cool like references to their old lyrics, like we're flying high like the eagle over
Yeah.
the walls of Jericho or something.
This live,
it's a badass
Blu-ray
song.
of their performance from Vakken 2018. I think there's also a performance from Madrid on their big old Pumpkins United World Tour,
Yeah.
which
Yeah.
we
Exactly.
we saw a bunch of their shows
Yeah.
from that tour. I think
Right.
between all of us,
Yeah,
Fernando,
I think
you saw them, what,
Fernando's
3,
seen them
4
like
times?
3
Yeah, I
times.
see them
You've
3 times.
memorized their entire set,
3
you know.
times. And
Yeah.
it's a 3-hour show, just a grand old jolly time. Probably one of the best
Yeah.
shows I've seen. So definitely check out this live Blu-ray when you get a chance, just to have that bit of jolliness in
And
your metal life.
It's all 3 CD boxes plus more, depending on how much
Yeah.
you want to pay. But like
Oh,
the
that's-
minimum is a 3 CD jewel case, so that's pretty sweet.
That's the minimum.
Mhm.
Right.
That's really long. That's like
Helloween
that's like
have a long history.
2 hours
so.
45 on 3
Dude,
CDs.
their show is so long, and honestly, like it did not feel like a 3-hour show. And I remember back fondly at the show when we were in the pit and I was able to walk.
You were able to walk before you were
Yeah,
crippled.
I am unable to walk now because I'm crippled. But anyway, so be on the lookout for Helloween United Alive. So looking forward at, I guess, new material released in the Euro Power universe. We have Twilight Force releasing 2 singles, and they are trying to promote their upcoming album, which will be out on August 16, and it is called Dawn of the Dragon Star.
That sounds like a Twilight Force album.
Yeah, it's the first featuring their new vocalist Alessandro Conti, and they have 2 singles out: Dawn of the Dragon Star and Night of Winterlight. They like alliteration and rhyming.
I mean,
like,
who
a lot,
doesn't?
I guess
It's
if you're
musical.
like a ridiculous fantasy themed
What do you guys think of these
power
singles?
metal band.
And what do
I,
you think of Conti in the band?
I think Conti's bad for the band.
Oh,
do you?
why?
I don't think his voice fits with their sound.
I think
Really?
I think it's different, but
They're too twinkly,
yeah.
and he's not twinkly sounding.
yeah, I think the band should have changed a bit to merge better with his voice. But they
Do you
kept
think
and
the
then-
maybe
same
they already
sound.
had the songs written?
And then on
and
top of him not being a good match, I think it also cements the fact that they are a Rhapsody clone kind of band.
Well, but
Kind
Because
of.
now they
have
have-
a singer.
Now they have a Rhapsody singer. It's even more obvious that they're a
Wow.
Rhapsody
Oh.
clone.
I don't think that's a problem. That's not a real
I
problem.
think that's a problem.
How
Come
many
on,
power metal bands are Rhapsody clones? Let's think about that.
Yeah.
Okay, so just listening to these 2 singles, so I think their first album, the one with the red dragon on it, is a Rhapsody style tribute album. It's like straightforward symphonic power metal. Their second album, the one with the purple dragon on it, it's like the over the top orchestral theatrical like fantasy movie
That
score.
happens to
it's
have
a
guitars.
distinct style that happens to have guitars. It's a
Sometimes.
distinct style that's not very like Rhapsody like. It's different. And these 2 singles seem like it's somewhere in between.
Yeah, that's
know?
what they were going for.
There's a bit more guitars than there was in that theatrical movie score Purple Dragon album. What color is the dragon on this album?
It's
It's
white
like
now.
silver,
It's high now, isn't it?
right?
It's a white dragon.
It's a white silver dragon. Yeah,
It has
Okay,
a
so this
treasure
maybe the-
too.
white silver dragon with treasure. I don't know what these fucking albums are called. But yeah, I feel like this is an interesting direction. I think a lot of people didn't like Conti's voice because they're so used to like the really high Christian Eriksen's performance. But I think he gives a better performance in the Dawn of the Dragon Star
Yeah.
than the
I
Night
like Dawn of the Dragon
Winterlight.
It's
Star much better
definitely
than
he definitely
Manowar.
sounds better. He's a lot easier to understand, and he comes through a lot better.
I don't want to call him
But in
bad.
understanding and power metal is totally optional.
Yeah, that's optional.
You don't need to be understandable.
Yeah, you don't need to be
Yeah.
understandable.
I want to say that he's not bad. He's not giving a bad performance, but
No
I do
way.
think
Not at all.
that the band didn't try to merge everything else to his tone at all.
Yeah.
I think it's really weird production wise.
Mhm.
I don't know. Conti just doesn't fit here.
Yeah, because
But not because his voice doesn't fit, but
it's like
they made the production really weird.
it's like you have all the guys with the costumes, and Conti is dressed in a soccer team uniform.
That's a hilarious
Uh,
imagery.
his voice is definitely lost under a lot of the other stuff, which was an issue that the guitars had on the previous album. So
Yeah, the production of all their stuff is kind of weird.
I just recently talked to someone, I don't remember who, saying that bands should not be doing their own mixing, and I think that is something
Oh,
that
yeah.
Twilight Force is
The
following.
keyboardist does it, I think.
Yeah, The issue with that is now you're not having an objective person come in
Exactly.
and tell you how to make it work. You're lost behind your creative vision.
To be your own producer takes it's not a thing that you should do. It's not advisable ever at all. Like imagine even Dragonforce always has a secondary producer besides Herman, because when you work by yourself, you get lost. You lose all perspective,
Yeah,
and you get used to stuff. You always need someone else to come and point to you. Hey, this thing it's not really working.
you need the objective guy to come in and shake things up.
The Beatles had George Martin, and that same principle should be applied to all bands in the future.
Cool. Those are some interesting perspectives on this potential album.
I
think it'll be what's up.
I'm sorry. Can we also talk about the video itself for Dawn of the Dragon Star?
Oh yeah, sure. Any comments on the video then?
It looks like it was shot on location in a mocap studio from 2002.
Oh,
It's
Well, they go for
awful.
watch the video.
It's like
I
intentionally
didn't watch
bad, isn't
the
it?
video either.
I don't know. It's awful though.
It has like
the
a crappy
C-
CGI dragon.
The CGI in it is just atrocious.
Hey, at
It's
least
gotta
there
be
was a
intentional.
dragon in it this time. There
It's-
wasn't a dragon for the Flight of the Sapphire
That pissed me off.
Dragon. We were promised dragons.
Yeah, they finally got a crappy dragon. It's a
Well, they're
really weird
working
music
on it.
video.
They
They just
went
kind of like
from-
walk and then they cast some spells. One of the guys turns into a girl for a hot second. And
Why?
then I don't know.
Why not?
Like, why
Because they
not?
because they had 2 hours on a soundstage and they had to fill time.
We rented this
Oh, shit.
studio for 2 hours.
I'm looking at it
Um,
now, and this is rough.
It's atrocious. They didn't even like do any outdoor shots. It's all shot on in a mocap studio or a soundstage. or something.
you can't call this a mocap studio because that would imply actual visual effects.
green screen.
being done.
It's bad.
It's just a blue screen or just a green screen.
If
And
you skip to
actually-
the end of
oh,
the video,
shit.
you'll see the dragon.
There are moments where the green screen is not properly keyed out.
Yeah, it's bad.
Oh no.
You can see the green
And-
screen behind the
Jeez.
trees.
Skip to the end of the video and you'll see the dragon flying with like clay wings.
Do you think Nuclear Blast gives funding for music videos?
I don't know. I don't know how long they've been with them, but this is not a lot of budget, definitely, because they already had all the costumes and everything, which
Yeah.
looks like the best thing about this video is that, but they already had that by themselves.
Yeah, this is like an afternoon in After Effects.
You
when
would-
some guy made this video.
It's bad. I'm disappointed with it.
We will talk more about music videos in our music video episode whenever we eventually do that.
Oh yeah,
We'll do that at
we will
some
do
point.
that. This
All
goes
right.
to the list.
So, the rest of the singles we want to talk about also have music videos, so maybe we can give a brief comment on those too. So the next single for an upcoming release on August 23rd, 2019 is Freedom Calls. Is it metal or M.E.T.A.L?
It's
Yeah.
shit is what it is.
It's shit is what it is.
I hate both versions.
I do hate them both.
Yeah, I hate-
I
Oh
hate
my god.
songs about metal. And Freedom Call is doing songs about metal ad nauseum at this point. It's so
Oh
boring.
my god.
Well, metal's for
metal
everyone,
is
dude.
for everyone, and we can spell it.
It's
That's
so
what
boring.
I'm getting for this.
The two
Yeah.
singles are so boring. I couldn't listen to them. I got about a minute and a half in on both of them.
Yeah, I wasn't a big fan of either single. The what was it? 100
It's
100
111.
something. 111.
Yeah.
What are these guys doing?
It's 110 plus one beyond, I think is the lyric in the song.
Oh my god. So they can
Did they just
can
want to say the
spell,
word beyond again because they're like, guys, remember when we made good
and they
music?
can count. That's what I got out of this. That's great. Spelling and math are very important.
Awful.
Freedom Call have a lot of good music. Like they're like the quintessential happy power metal band. Even their last album, for its shitty ass artwork, I still had some like fun songs on it. But this new one, I am not stoked for
Okay,
M.E.T.A.L.
how about what do you think about the artwork for this new album? How can they top Master of Light?
Well, they didn't. In terms of artwork, in terms of name, they definitely won the stupid contest there.
So this one is like it's like the letters M.E.T.A.L on like a
But it has periods after, like it's an acronym. So
yeah,
what
does it stand for? Does
for?
it stand for something, or do they just want to show that they can spell?
It's musically entering total ass land. There you go. Got him.
Oh my God.
Fucking nerds.
Wow. All right. Okay. Any more comments on this album that you all can look out for?
No,
don't.
moving on to the
Or
next
can we
album
just
with
end it
metal
right
in the
here
name.
before we drag them under the bus, the metal bus?
Maybe
some
it'll
more?
be good. Maybe the
Yeah, maybe it'll
songs,
be
maybe the
good.
singles are bad. Who knows?
All right, I guess we'll find
Bad
out on
singles
August 23rd.
is a trend apparently. So
Yeah, that's true.
Okay. How about the next single we're going to talk about, which is Dragonforce, Something to Midnight.
Well, they have their new album called Extreme Power Metal coming out on September 27th.
Oh, Highway to Oblivion. I don't know why I thought midnight. Okay. Yeah. So Extreme Power Metal is their album title and it's out September 27th. And their first single is called Highway to Oblivion.
I like the single. I dug it.
I thought I was gonna hate it when I saw the thumbnail for the video and everyone was talking about it being like 80s throwback nonsense again, but I really liked it.
Like
I really
visually,
thought it was
is,
going to
but
be 80s because the intro sounded like 80s
Yeah.
throwback. There was all these like synths.
But instead, it was just Dragonforce throwback.
it's like Ultra Beatdown Dragonforce.
Yeah.
Maybe.
yeah.
I have a problem with the song. It's not only that it sounds like Ultra Beatdown Dragonforce, is that they are reusing a lot of parts from old songs from that album, and it's like too much, too on the nose, and it annoyed me a lot listening to it. I hope that the rest of the album has new stuff, and that this single is only to appease the fans that didn't like Reaching to Infinity, though I don't think there were that many that hated as much as we did.
They should have.
But like
Some people liked it.
this song has a riff from The Last Journey Home. It has a riff from Heroes of Our Time.
I was gonna say Heroes of Our Time is
Yeah.
definitely in there.
It has the pre-chorus from what was the song out of Maximum Overload? No More, I think it was. And the solo is just like 70% of the solo or something like that is just lifted from Operation Ground and Pound's solo. Like bar
I
by
really
So
like
bar.
Operation Ground and Pound.
you're saying that if we're gonna use the Katy Perry lawsuit as precedent,
Dragonforce can sue
Dragonforce
Dragonforce.
can just sue themselves.
Yes.
So, do you think that was purely unfounded speculation? Do you think that was intentional because they wanted to churn out a single, or do you think it was intentional because they want to do a medley type
I think
song?
it was intentional to make sure that they cover the bases with all the fans, because we've seen a lot of positive reaction to this. Like I enjoyed the song.
So safe
overall.
single. That's what we're thinking.
Kind
Yeah,
of
safe, lull people back in type of single.
Appeal to
Because-
fans who didn't like Reaching into
Yeah,
Infinity.
Apologize
I
for
think.
reaching.
We remember
Yeah.
that Ashes of the Dawn was weird when it came out, the first single for the previous album. Like we'll listen to it and the intro was weird, and then the song eventually, it's a cool song. It has a cool chorus, but it was weird. It wasn't really great. And this is like, let's go back again to all the stuff that was great and use it here. I would say that the chorus is new, completely new, and that's great. And I enjoyed the song, but it really bothered me just on the first listen to find out all these parts lifted from old songs, because with all the sameness that Dragonforce has had in their first albums, it wasn't ever like this, just a straight carbon copy of a couple bars and of sections.
True. I think the song grew on me after multiple listens, maybe like getting more of those familiar aspects of the music, even if it's like subconscious, it just kind of tricked me into liking it more. Hard to say. I do wish that they had more emphasis on the keyboards like they did back on like Sonic Firestorm and Human Rampage.
Yeah, but
I guess Vadim's not with the band anymore, which
that won't happen. Yeah.
Do you think extreme power metal is going to be like, I don't know, just looking at the artwork for this album,
it's like an 80s
so
thing.
brightly colored. Yeah.
Yeah, but I think
Well, the name is interesting because the bonus track
Like,
of
why did they
Ultra
call it
Beatdown
that?
was called EPM, and I've heard it stood for
Whoa.
Extreme Power Metal.
yes.
Whoa, whoa,
So
whoa.
what's going
All
on
these
here,
years
guys?
later. This is Ultra Beatdown 2. Clearly.
Ultra
Whoa.
Beatdown was like the worst album that they had with ZP though.
This is clearly Ultra Beatdown 2.
It's still a good album. Like,
It's still, I still like it. Yeah.
but I don't know. I sincerely hope that it's not just that all the album will be like this song. Also, one important thing: the single that at least I only listened to the video version, and that's a shorter edit. And usually, Dragonforce short edits are the worst versions of the songs. The actual song is like 7 minutes long, but I haven't listened to the actual full song.
The video
And I
for Through the
should.
Fire and Flames is like atrocious.
Yeah, exactly. And I don't remember. Is it full on Spotify, or is it
Yeah,
also
it's
I think
$6.50
Spotify
on
is full version.
Spotify.
yeah, I need to check on that because I just listened to the video edit, which it was a good song, but given that it has these carbon copy moments, that's the only thing that annoyed me a bit. And I hope that there's new songs, that they are still trying to do new stuff that is
I
better
hope that
than
there are new songs.
Yeah, that it's. I like them when they try new stuff. The only moment that didn't work was with Reaching into Infinity, but the new stuff that
Yeah,
they
that
did on
had new stuff
Maximum,
on
that
it.
was great. So
What do you guys think about the music video since we're all talking about videos
hate it.
today?
I hate 80s throwback.
Okay, so for those of you listeners who haven't seen it, it's think of like Tron, the movie, and it's definitely for fans of neon lights
And Pink
If you're-
Cyberpunk.
and pink and like turquoise, neon, blue, green.
if you listener were born in the 2000s, imagine FarCry
Blood Dragon.
Blood Dragon and Kung Fury.
Yeah.
And
Yeah, that's the
stuff.
80s revival vibe is what they're going
Yeah,
for.
the fake 80s.
There's so many like 80s tributes.
Yeah.
I hope it's
nowadays.
over.
I don't know.
It's not over,
Maybe it's because
but
like
No.
I hope it's
we
over soon.
recently watched Stranger Things, and like I have all these like
it's probably Stranger
80s
Things. Yeah,
aesthetic
Stranger
in
Things
my- in
probably
my
makes
mind.
makes it go longer than it should have, because this has been going on for a
Yeah.
couple of years. Like,
I
it's a
know.
different genre, but Muse released this same concept album like last year. They released an album and everything is just like this Dragonforce video, but they did one video for each song like this. They have the
oh
Lamborghini,
my
they
God.
have the neon,
so much
the art
neon,
and everything. We know that
all of the
Dream
neon.
Troll does this, but with less budget. We know that it's been going on in many metal bands and in other genres for the past 5 years.
I
And
think
I'm sick
80s
of it.
aesthetic
Yeah.
revivals kind of started like 2010s ish, and then it was kind of starting to fade out. But then Stranger Things got really big
Yeah,
in like
Yeah.
2016 or whatever, and it's just been full force since then.
yeah.
So
And the only reason I don't like this video is mainly because I'm sick of seeing this.
Yeah,
already.
I agree.
I don't like the style of music video where it's just bands surrounded by CGI because they're on a record label. with
Isn't
some
that
money.
like what most metal music videos are?
I-
Just a band playing
I
wanna
in
say
that
some
music
settings.
videos.
all of Dragonforce music videos are band playing with CGI around them, but they were rad. Like the video for Operation Ground and Pound is amazing.
That's the cool one.
It's like the Battle
That's the
of
cool one,
Riddick
yeah.
happening in the background. You have the video for Heroes of Our Time. That's a great video as well with all the visuals around the band. You have the video for the game. That's the more restrained one, but it's still a
Oh
cool
yeah, that
video.
one had like a story.
Yeah.
like the salary man.
Yeah, it was Ashes of the Dawn. I
Saga.
really didn't like the video for. It was just visually boring.
Yeah, Ashes of the Dawn was just this one is a better video than Ashes of the Dawn, but I don't like it just because of the oversaturation that I have with
of
this.
like the 80s aesthetic.
Yeah, exactly.
All right. So this next album that was announced probably doesn't help.
Oh wait,
that
I'm sorry. I
oversaturation.
have one more thing.
Oh my God!
About
you always add
Dragonforce.
one more thing when we
Fucking
move
bitch.
I was
on,
waiting for you
bro.
guys to finish your thing about the 80s.
Okay, go.
Herman Lee actually wrote a good portion of this album while streaming on Twitch.
Oh yeah.
which is really cool though.
Do you think that we're going to see any weird stuff that he may not have otherwise thought about that you would think is not like Dragonforce, but collaborative? Do you think that might be a thing that might happen in the future more? Go.
Well, like
Discussion
well, like,
question.
you mean like Twitch memes? Is it gonna
Yeah,
be like
I don't know.
Kappa in this fucking Dragon
I don't know,
Force
man.
song?
No.
Collaborative
I hope
songwriting
not.
via
That's
Twitch?
so So I feel like that's pandering to the crowd, and
Yeah.
I just don't think that's a good idea.
I think it is cool that he gives the fans that visibility so they can like learn about music production. I think that side of it is
Yeah.
extremely cool.
Do you think he
Yeah.
actually
Yeah.
took crowd feedback to heart, or do you think he just did it to
I hope
appease the
fucking
fans?
not.
I hope not.
I think Herman is smart enough and experienced enough to
Yeah, he
find the
wouldn't do
good.
that.
Like if there's a good suggestion, he'll probably take it. But
He's been doing this for 20 years.
yeah. He knows what he's doing. Well, editing this episode, the news came out that Dragonforce's longtime bass player Frederick Leclerc is leaving the band, and for their current tour in their US leg, they are enrolling YouTubers TVT as a replacement just for the tour and to play Triangle. If you don't know who this is, Steve Turnberry has a YouTube channel and he's a bit annoying, but he's a great player and they have collaborated in the past. They made a video on Steve's channel and he is going to show in one of Dragonforce's videos. That's where the whole Triangle player thing comes from. And well, I guess it makes sense. He's a good player and he's available. And so far it's just for the tour. Just thought I should add this here when talking about decisions made based on the internet. Back to the episode. Even though we didn't like Reaching to Infinity, it did well. So we can trust him, I guess.
I think a lot of people liked Reaching into Infinity,
Mhm.
just not us.
Yeah.
I like a few songs on it.
Yeah, I like
Yeah.
Ashes of the Dawn except for the intro. I cut the intro out of it.
I liked Judgment Day and I liked the bonus tracks.
I hate Judgment Day.
I like
Sorry.
Judgment Day. Fucking.
Well, I think it's cool when people, when musicians share their creative process
Yeah.
with the fans.
Yes.
But I think like they just have to be careful not to like take criticisms personally or to like pander too much to like what some uninformed Twitch bro
Well,
has to say.
I'm sure that they are way beyond that because they
yeah, but
survived.
they are professionals.
They survived the
They
download
got
debacle
this.
back in 2000 something like that.
Oh, yeah.
Six, I
So
think.
yeah, and they survived that. So I think they are way beyond.
Yeah, I think they have a good handle on this platform.
Mhm.
Just saying. All right. So are we ready to move on to more 80s oversaturation now?
I guess.
No.
We're almost
Yeah,
through
okay.
the 80s. We got one more
So,
real quick.
One more like obnoxiously neon themed band. So
Ugh.
Victorious.
Gross.
Victorious. They have an album announced called Space Ninjas from Hell. This is to be released January 17, 2020. These are from the guys that brought you Dinosaur Warfare, Legend of the Powersaurus.
I kind of like
Ugh.
that album. I know a lot. I think a lot of people didn't like it. I liked it.
People love these geeky dinosaur, samurai, ninja, pirate themed bands, don't
Yeah,
they?
it's just being silly. I thought the songs were decent. Like you can actually hear the guitars on them. That's a start.
That's a start, yeah.
And yeah, this album has the same artist, Stan W. Decker. It's the same guy who did the Dragonforce artwork. They look extremely similar because they're going for the same vibe from the same guy. And it was really weird to have these two announcements within like the same week. Like,
Yeah.
wait, I've seen this before.
We were talking about just the Dragonforce album art being just like the Dinosaur Warfare album art, and then the next couple days after that, the second Victorious album is also the same. So
Victorious's was it first album, their debut was like a normal Europower, not obnoxious, not Mimi style.
Yeah,
They
but
get
because
more
it,
attention with the Mimi stuff.
because it wasn't obnoxious and
guess.
Mimi, it didn't get any clout. It didn't get any traction. No one knew who Victorious was.
This is like, your typical flower metal band. It wasn't like awful.
we're very power metal now. Is like you need to be clickbait.
I don't know
read.
what power metal is anymore. I'm just like here in my corner. Like I'm really enjoying a lot of these I don't even know what to call it. Like these traditional heavy metal like style bands. But Euro Power has kind of
Power metal's
it's
dead.
kind of in a weird place right now.
R.I.P.
I don't know.
2019.
I don't know if I want to say it's dead, but it's in a really weird place right now.
We've got 5 albums to review today. I don't.
yeah, we've
it's
got
not
5 albums
dead.
to review.
It's
Some
definitely
of them
not
are
dead.
Yeah, it's definitely not dead. And you know who else is not dead?
Yeah. Blind Guardian.
Blind Guardian. And more specifically, Blind Guardian's Twilight Orchestra.
Not to be confused with regular Blind Guardian.
Yeah.
Yeah, this is a different Blind Guardian project. So this is their orchestral album, and they released a pretty wholesome, I think, nice trailer.
That was a nice
And-
trailer.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was really nice. So the Blind Guardian's Twilight Orchestra album is going to be out November 8th.
I'm hyped. Like the trailer had like little bits of the music from the orchestral album. Like it's been 20 years, and I think it sounds cool. I like our orchestral stuff. I like Blind Guardian. I like Hansi Kirsch. The neat little tidbit from this trailer, I think, was Andre talking about how he couldn't write the music for this because he doesn't know sheet music.
Yeah.
That's incredible.
He can't write music,
like, how do you
so
write?
it might have
Explains the
taken 20 years.
Yeah.
Because he's like, I guess he's just sitting with someone to transpose stuff, like going do 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 do, like with his mouth and a guitar and stuff. I don't know.
Yeah, how do you write like the bassoon and flute and trombone and trumpet parts?
Yeah.
Like, how do you do that without
Or like,
knowing
I guess he would
sheet music?
go into something and synthesize it, and then have someone make it better.
I guess that just blows my
Writing
mind.
for orchestra is hard because to write for an instrument, you have to at least know what it sounds like and in which registers it sounds the best and stuff like that. And write stuff that is actually playable. Because maybe if you just know guitar, you think, oh, you can play this thing that in guitar is really simple, but a bassoon can really jump between notes that fast or something like that. And
right? Imagine like a guitar solo on a bassoon.
well, actually, there's an example, but I'll link something later that's really cool. A lot of black metal played on bassoon.
Ooh,
Back to
sounds cool.
Blind Guardian. So this probably explains why it took them 20 years to make this happen, because really not being able to communicate what you want to do with so many instruments and stuff, it's just the worst way. It's like not speaking the language and trying to get something done. But we're getting it.
It's definitely part of it. A neat little thing they're doing with this album is they're bringing back the voice actors from Nightfall and Middle Earth
Oh yeah,
to do some of the narration stuff.
they were good.
Cool throwback.
Yeah.
Yeah, that'll be cool. Yeah, and from what little we can hear from the end of the trailer, there's a little bit of music. So it's completely orchestral. There's no like electric guitars and whatever. There's no like heavy metal instruments. There's Hansi singing. There's like choruses. The way that they described it in the trailer, like it's like a heavy metal style orchestra, not using the instruments, but melodically it's supposed to be distinctly Blind Guardian.
Mhm.
Yeah, like the little bits of music that they bring on there do sound a lot like something you hear on At the Edge of Time or Beyond the Red Mirror. I think it sounds a bit better than that, but that's cool.
Cool. Yeah, I'm looking forward to this. So yeah,
November 8th.
November 8th, end of this year. So next,
A couple other
we wanna
recent
talk-
releases that we want to mention real quick.
Yeah. So we're gonna like step away from the orchestral and down to the depths of the
Hell.
Real metal.
real metal. All right. So our friends DOUBLEGEDDON have released.
They're not our friends. They're our
single.
demigod overlords.
Yeah.
Oh, there are our demigod overlords. DOUBLEGEDDON have released a single called Night of the Demon, and more importantly, they've announced an album called Geddon Dangerous.
It's the greatest album name known to man.
Right?
This is a song that they're hoping will keep people tied over until that album eventually comes out. There's actually a cover of an old Nwuba hymn, new wave of British heavy metal type of track. I'm blanking on who originally wrote it.
Demon. Night of the Demon.
There you go.
Yeah, it's gallopy and
It's good.
riffy. That would be pretty cool if the album is of this style.
They don't say motherfucker on it though.
They don't say motherfucker
They should have said
and
motherfucker.
sing about snake pit skeletons. This is more traditional. So I would say this album would get fans of Eternal Champion and Visigoth and like modern heavy metal people excited.
If you like the new wave of British heavy metal, yeah,
It's a good cover.
it is a good cover.
It's very distinct
Yeah.
from the original.
Oh my god. Yeah, it's different from the style of snake pit skeleton and the
That too, yeah.
the fire breathing giant of the ICCs or whatever obnoxious titles they've come up with.
The titles are amazing.
They're amazing.
please.
Yeah. Yeah, we hail and kill for our heavy metal overlords. And we're looking forward to this album. There's no date announced that I can see.
They're gonna be ready when they're ready. Okay.
They're ready when they're ready. We're on their timeline.
Exactly.
Cool. And last but not least, we have one more single / video that we want to talk about. This is highly important for heavy metal history.
It really is. I've never heard a song quite like this.
Yeah, I feel really excited about the single. So Nanowar of Steel have released this, a music video for a song called Norwegian Reggaeton.
Yeah, it's a metal version of a reggaeton song. So think of Despacito. But it has guitars and they talk about Norwegian things and black metal.
Yeah, no, this is badass. So it's in mostly Spanish, and it has that like Latino pop rhythm played by crunchy heavy guitars. And the references are like 10 out of 10. There's like Borsum album titles.
Yeah, it's all it's Norwegian reggaeton, right?
I love the lyrics.
It's all
Vamos a bailar con Hellhammer Ivar.
It's all Norwegian black metal references in a reggaeton song.
Amazing.
It's like telling you in Spanish to desecrate the tomb and kill your enemies. It's so hilarious.
Profanar la tumba al
Al
ritmo de la rumba.
Con Fenlis y Dark Throne.
Norwegian reggaeton.
I love this song. This is my fucking lyrics of the year.
Yeah, this is song of the year right here, guys.
Yeah, this is lyrics and song of the year.
If you have not checked out Norwegian Reggaeton, please do yourself a favor.
Yeah, we'll link all of these news items and singles in our show notes. There's so many awesome singles that have been released so far this summer. This is the best.
And this is like the most summer song of all because it's got like
I know
the people like in the bathing suits and drinking the Coronas and dancing, and it's good times.
And they're like in black metal,
and
like corpse paint.
They've got like the regular dancing going on, but then they have like choreographed, like overdone moshing too. It's funny.
Yeah.
It's great. It's a great video.
The video is great. It's really on point because it's like an actual reggaeton video with the metal guys completely out of place there. You have the sunny side of the pool, all the girls and everything, and then the black metal dudes that should have been in the sun with all the leather
They've got
and
like their
armor.
corpse paint and their leather, and then it like cuts to inside the club. It cuts to inside the club, and it's like the girls in corpse paint and stuff, and they're wearing regular clothes.
Yeah,
it's great.
It's really great.
One of them has like a Shaq Lakers jersey for some reason.
Because that's important for the reggaeton like aesthetic. Yeah. So Spanish tracks are taking over popular music in recent years. I guess power metal parody is no exception.
So we got like our metal Despacito here. We need our metal Old Town Road. That's the next one.
Oh right. Okay.
Fernando, you got that right?
Yeah, we can make that happen.
You can make that happen.
Excellent. That's
after
how
you
music
finish
works.
your power metal Despacito remix.
Oh, that's the Billy Ray Cyrus one. Okay.
Yeah,
they'll
that one.
play
Gotcha.
Lil Nas X. Yeah,
That's a whole adventure right there in itself. Not
it was
relevant
interesting.
yet.
We were talking to Christopher Bose right before this, and he was pissed off that because they were working on a reggaeton metal song, but Nanowar beat him to it, so I have to scrap it.
Wow, I never thought the metal reggaeton remix like field would have this
so much competition,
like, stiff of a competition.
They have a zeitgeist here,
right?
That's the zeitgeist of the time is reggaeton.
Yeah,
memes, Despacito. Oh, and they forced a Despacito reference into the song too, which I thought was nice.
They had to
very deliberately
to.
said Despacito.
Well, not only that, but like the guests that they have, they say the featuring Charlie Glamour and Gigatron, the guys are dressed like prominent reggaeton artists like Pitbull and Daddy
Dude,
Yankee.
they did their homework.
And they had the
outfits were spot on.
They had the in your head thing from Mahombi in there
that's because it's the same chord progression. And it fits so
pretty funny.
nicely. Yeah.
I enjoyed that because I actually am aware of that song. I'm not aware of most popular songs.
I like the references at the start where it's like, girl, you light my soul on fire like the Phantom Church in 1992.
Yeah, like I said, references are 10 out of 10 lyrics of the year.
All right. Have we talked enough about singles and upcoming things? Now we should get to the real
This is a crap
meat.
ton of news. You'll find links to all of these in our show notes, which will be posted on our website. And you can find that at powerful-podcast.com.
It looks nicer now.
Yeah, it looks nicer now. We had a website makeover. It's still a work in progress, but check it out, powerful-podcast.com. And if you have any reviews or if you have any comments and you want to write to us, you can always find us on Facebook at Powerful Podcast, Instagram at Powerful Podcast, Twitter at, I can never remember our Twitter handle.
It's at Powerful PM.
Yeah, Powerful PM.
We're almost to 50 followers. I am so hyped.
That's awesome. I don't know how to use Twitter still. And if you enjoy the show and you want to support us, you can also find us on Patreon and throw us your spare change. And we are at Powerful Podcast on Patreon as well. All right. So we've got a lot of albums we want to review for you guys today, so you can get your summer power metal listening on. And of course, we're going to start with the most powerful of them all.
This is a big boy of an album.
Yeah, this is a big boy of an album. This is Turilli Leone's Rhapsody. Their album is Zero Gravity, open parentheses, Rebirth and Evolution, close parentheses.
We've been hyped about this since before the announcement, even since the reunion
this
tour.
album is just like hype all around. Yeah. Reunion tour, the like Kickstarter campaign, the reunion of Fabio and Luca, and the ridiculous concept of this album, singles. This is just all like very over the top. What do you guys think about this album?
So this is a difficult album to take in, but I think I love it. I think I do.
Yeah, I think if we remember back to one of our old episodes when we talked about accessible bands, and
Yeah,
This album is not
it.
would not be.
this album is dense as fuck.
Yeah,
Only 3 songs have stuck with me. DNA, Fast Radio Burst, and Phoenix Rising are the only songs that have stuck in my head.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Really? I
What about-
love I Am.
Yeah, I Am.
It has
I
the
Am is the best
sexy,
one.
like,
I Am and
saxophone
Arcanum
part.
are amazing.
It's
I
so good.
love the album. I love every song on the album while I'm listening to it. I just can't remember anything about the songs.
I don't think
'Cause
that's
your mind
necessarily
is
a bad
so-
thing.
Yeah, okay, yeah.
Your brain is so exploded.
Yeah, it's true that all these, like the songs that, like Phoenix Rising, DNA, and Fast Radio Burst, and Oceano, the cover, are probably the songs that have the less sections, because like I Am and Decoding the Multiverse are like, I don't know, it's a mess. There's 300 sections on those songs, and you can remember different beats and maybe not remember that they are in the same track.
You know what I mean? I'm
Yeah,
not
they're in
saying
the
that it's a
same
bad thing
track.
that I don't remember
No,
anything else.
No, I understand.
Like I said, I
Yeah.
loved the album. It's just nothing sticks with me.
Yeah, your feeble mind cannot
I-
comprehend.
I cannot comprehend the new
Our
math.
feeble
Yeah.
minds are not like worthy of this
We'll
album.
be so
Sacred,
condescending
honestly.
throughout the whole
New
review.
cosmic
Yeah.
geometry and all that.
You are not a
bullshit.
triangle yet.
New maths.
I tried to.
Yeah, we are-
I
we
read
are
the
not,
lyrics for this album, and it just makes no fucking
Oh
sense.
yeah,
Well,
I,
that's,
We are not
well,
quantum
yeah.
beings
Yeah,
that have ascended.
I don't think it makes
through
any
the
sense to
earth.
anyone except for Turilli.
I want to
Yeah, Luca
say
himself.
Or for Luca.
I
It does make sense, but you have to read the same books that Luca Turilli does, because he writes all the
Yeah.
lyrics and it's very complicated.
You got to be all into that new age, becoming more than the universe shit.
Yeah.
I read the lyrics
New
today.
maths and all.
I listened to the album again today, a few hours ago, following the lyrics because I really wanted to sing along to a lot of parts.
Yeah.
And now I know what regret feels like.
But does
Jesus.
do new maths resonate in you now though?
I've never heard a metal album reference math so much. It's amazing.
Have you decoded the multiverse
Definitely
and
not.
the origin
Not yet.
of
Yo, Decoding the Multiverse is a
multidimensional-
sick song.
Yeah, it is.
Like, the solo at the end of that is pure amazingness from Luca.
Let's go in order.
So-
Let's go in order. Like everyone
well-
have the track list open.
Yeah.
So the
Yeah.
first track is Phoenix Rising, which, if I recall correctly,
First
was the first
single.
single.
The first single,
Yeah.
which is a good choice for a first single.
Yeah, it was, because it really set the tone. It's one of the most accessible songs, but you can hear that
You can
It's
still hear
crowded.
the weirdness like
Yeah.
coming in.
A
you
lot of
have the
sections in it.
synths. You have the synths, the orchestral beats, the metal beats, different vocal tones from Fabio, and the crazy, like, changing time signatures and weird ostinatos and the choirs and everything, and and
Yeah,
the part
okay.
could loop forever. And I think it's a great song.
Honestly, some of this music I think wouldn't be out of place during the Final Fantasy boss fight,
Oh,
where
definitely.
like the entire world gets flipped on its head. You thought you were at the end, it's the fake ending, and everything just goes to shit. This is
You know
this
what
album.
this album
That's a good
inspired
analogy,
me
yeah.
to do? This album inspired me to watch the Da Vinci Code. I had like a stupid movie night because I couldn't get DNA, demon,
angel.
and angel out of my head.
And that's the other movie, yeah.
Hey, I like
So
Demon
I
and
was
Angel.
like, I'm gonna watch the Da Vinci Code and Angels and Demons because I need some multi-dimensional decoding of some like arcane cryptic codes right now.
It seems like at any given moment in this album, you're gonna have like at least 5 different things to pay attention to between like Fabio, the guitars, like the strings, the piano, like the synth stuff that's going on, the choirs.
right.
I don't even know where
Yeah.
to start with it, but it's really an experience to listen to this album.
I don't think this is something I could casually listen to in my car though.
Yeah, if you are a
No.
traditional heavy metal fan, I feel like you'd hate
This
this.
is a-
Or
it's
like,
pretentious as
yeah.
hell.
This is a
too.
sit down
It's-
dedicated album.
Yeah,
which
definitely. This is
Right.
pay
It's-
attention. Like
It's like rare to have one of those these days.
this is what you're doing today. You're sitting down
Yeah.
and listening to this album. That's your
and then you're gonna be exhausted
Maybe you,
because
like,
it's gonna take
You,
everything
you
out
pour
of you.
like a nice glass of wine or like a nice whiskey, and you just sit
Take a
down in
bath.
your chair, take a bath, and really soak it in.
yeah,
and
definitely.
you become multidimensional.
Definitely.
Yeah, I give it like 3 DNA strands out of 2.
How do you even rank this album, man? You gotta have new math.
You can't.
for it.
You
You need
don't.
new
You
math to,
simply don't.
rate it.
It transcends the capabilities of human knowledge right now. The universe is too vast. We cannot possibly comprehend the depth of this album.
I want to give a shout out to the song "I Am" and having a saxophone section.
Oh my god,
that's the
that's
best
my favorite
part.
track. That is the
Oh,
best part.
another album we're gonna talk about today had a saxophone section.
Wait. There's more to this album.
Oh my god, we're doing this again. We're doing this
yeah,
again.
like I want to say that this album has great vocals from Fabio in all of the styles that he's been doing so far. Maybe not so much his harsh vocals, but his high cleans, his lows, his full operatic, bombastic moments, a little bit of Queen harmonies that are just great. And
I mean, fuck, dude, he does all that on Phoenix Rising.
yeah,
Not even on the whole
And
album.
that's just the
Fabio's a
that's just
really
the
good
first
fit for this
track.
album because like his like overly dramatic voice
It's
really fits
perfect.
the
It's
style
perfect.
of this
like
crazy ass album.
Amata Immortale is just a beautiful, beautiful song.
Ballad of the
Yes.
Year,
And it's-
Amate Mortal.
And it's sung beautifully, and the whole arrangement is great. And then I Am is just a fucking trip.
Yeah,
It's great.
it absolutely
And
is.
like decoding the multiverse as well has a lot of great sections. And the cover Oceano, it's gorgeous. It's a beautiful song, and it's a really nice way to end this because it's when everything comes down a couple gears, so you are slowly decelerating and losing
Yeah,
all
this-
this extra overabundance of sections and going off on a cleaner song, and it's just
yeah.
beautiful.
The second to last song, Arcanum, Da Vinci's Enigma, is like the climax of
Yeah.
the album with like just
Yeah.
tons of orchestral shit. I love it. I think it's great. I think it's easy to say that it's overproduced, but
That's a
it's not
shitty
really
term.
just a wall
What
of
does it even
sound.
mean?
Yeah,
You can still tell what's going on, and then coming down with like Oceano is nice.
you definitely can listen to this expecting a symphony of enchanted lands.
Oh no, I mean he hasn't been doing that for 10 years.
And you have to come to terms with that, dear listener that hates this album, because you're wrong.
Yeah, it's not old Rhapsody, but at the same time, it is old Rhapsody. I don't know what to say about it.
I am very happy with this album. I don't know if I can keep my claim. Well, it wasn't a claim because I was asking, but is this the second coming of power metal that we've been touting so much? I have no idea because I don't really know what power metal is anymore or what this is.
Yeah, I don't
But-
know. None of us know what
And
power
you know,
metal is
This
anymore.
makes me happy.
But it's
That's
fine.
all that matters.
Even Mike
Yeah.
Mike loved this album,
Oh, he loved
Yeah,
it.
he hates everything.
and he hates power metal right now,
Yeah,
and he
Yeah.
loved this album so much. So that's like a big thumbs up.
yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, so once you've realized how small you are in the context of the universe, and you can listen to this album and think about
That's
the true vastness.
that's what the album
of
is.
all the world around
It's
us.
that
yeah.
that thing that the website you go to where you just keep zooming out.
Oh yeah.
Oh my
definitely.
God.
That's what the album
That's
is.
great. Yeah, that's
yeah,
the thing.
it makes galaxies. It makes galaxies look
You like
small.
just zoom out from your house and just see how insignificant you are, and then
makes
you
way too
go
much
all the
sense.
way back in.
That's what this album is. Yeah. So give it a listen. It's gonna take a lot out of you, but it's totally worth it. If you want to look for it on Rhapsody, on a Spotify, is Turilli / Leone Rhapsody.
Yeah, start
It's
typing
kinda
in
hard to
Turilli.
find.
You should be able to find it.
Yeah, you'll find it by like the way they made the name. They wrote Turilli space Leone Rhapsody, and the problem is that a lot of services take space as a separator. So in Spotify, this is an album by two artists. One is Turilli, and the other artist is Leone Rhapsody. And that will probably happen
Oh my
if you
god.
download the album and add it to your library. That will happen to you most likely. In iTunes and everything, it shows up like this as well.
It looks like it's fixed on American Spotify. It
Oh,
counts
really?
as one artist. It's
So-
You
one
can just
artist.
you can
No,
just
in
look up
mine is-
Rhapsody on Spotify as well,
If you-
and it'll show up.
Yeah, if you look up Rhapsody,
Or
you'll
look for
find
Zero
it. This
Gravity.
album is
It also
it's beyond Spotify's comprehension.
Oh, for sure.
Clearly.
It's beyond my comprehension. So
Yeah, it's beyond all of us. All right. So, if we've recovered from reviewing this first banger of an album, let's talk about our next albums. If you still have the mental
Yeah.
capacity to do
this
so.
is the one that had saxophone.
Yeah. So, we want to review Shadow Strike: Legends of Human Spirit.
Kyle, do you want to kick this off since you like Shadow Strike so much?
Yeah, I do like this band, and I like this album. This is the debut from Shadow Strike after they had an EP a couple years ago. This is a very it's a gorgeous album, and it's very over the top with its guitars and keyboards. I think that makes up my favorite part of it. Is just the very cheesy, very wankery type of music that they go for here. What did you guys think about it?
I agree with that. I actually talked to Matt a little bit after I listened to it for the first time.
Matt Crace.
Yeah,
of
Matt
Shadow
Crace
Strike.
of Shadow Strike, the songwriter. I talked to him a little bit after I listened to it for the first time, and I was kind of like going through it and giving him my impressions as I went through it. And he confirmed that a lot of this album was written when he was in a very heavy Dragonforce phase, in like
I was gonna say this is definitely
can
for fans
totally
of
hear
in
Dragon.
like
that.
late high school.
It's like, oh boy, you like Inhuman Rampage? I've got an album for you.
And then he said that he iterated on it a little bit while he was going through a Galnerius kick.
Also appropriate.
Yeah.
Yeah, that totally makes sense. Like, I think overall, whenever I'm listening to this album, I'm having a good time because it's just always over the top, cheesy,
Yeah.
doodle-doodle-doo type of stuff. And that's the easy way to get to my heart with a power metal album. I gotta say, though, I'm not huge on the vocals. It sounds kind of like, I don't know, whiny or something. I don't know. Am I just crazy?
I like the vocals. I think they're fine. I think they fit very well with the music. I've been saying that since this came out, Shadow Strike is gonna be the big competitor for Twilight Force this year, I think. At least for us. not for like the community at large, obviously, because no one's heard of
I
Shadow
don't-
Strike.
I don't know if they're stylistically that similar though. Twilight Force and Shadow Strike.
At a very high level, I would both class them under the nebulous Disney metal, quote unquote, twinkly thing.
of symphonic power metal that twinkles.
Yeah. So this is
Symphonic power
like
metal that twinkles.
Shadow Strike.
I don't
I
think this
imagine
twinkles
is like
as much
what
as
it's
Twilight
like
Force.
what Twilight Force would be if Twilight Force had decent guitars. I think.
I feel like there's more of like a Rhapsody thing, whereas Shadow Strike are more of a Dragonforce thing.
Yeah, I don't really classify Shadow Strike and Twilight Force in the same category.
They
mean-
twinkle. They definitely twinkle.
Yeah, they twinkle, but I think Twilight Force is a little bit more twinkly, and Shadow Strike is a little bit more symphonic power metal. These are totally technical
Why is like
terms, by the
level
way.
of twinkliness? Like, what-
Yeah, so
What
this
does
is
metal
I
come
feel
to?
like so like the purple dragon album of Twilight Force is like 10 out of 10 twinkles, and I would say this Shadow Strike album is like 6.5 out of 10.
I was gonna say it's like
twinkles.
70% twinkle.
Yeah.
Hmm.
Yeah.
What are we even saying?
I don't know what we're saying. Any last thoughts on Shadow Strike: Legend of Human Spirit?
It's really good, and it's in my top 10 albums for the year so far.
cool. That's real promising. Shout outs to Shadow Strike.
It has some parts where it like also brings in like classical music, like bridges. I'm not sure exactly what to call it. Did you pick up on that during the solos, Andrew?
I'd have to re-listen. I was kind of getting thrown Dragonforce in my face a lot. I there were a lot of like sometimes when they got really really wanky with the guitar solos, I was thinking like Galnerius Versailles a lot. Some like neoclassical JPM kind of stuff, but not overtly.
Yes.
It was specifically on Gales of Winter where I got slapped in the face with neoclassical JPM kind of sound.
Gales of Winter was on their EP, but they really refined it a lot for this release. It's like the big epic song at the end.
Yeah, and I don't usually like ending with the big epic song. I like having something to hold my hand on the way out, bring me down a little bit. But
You want to cuddle afterwards.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, like on Rhapsody, I want
Oh
the
my
climax, and then I just want to be like, I want to cuddle a little bit until the album's over.
You want to be guided
Yeah.
to outside of the galaxy.
I like
Gently.
the nice slow ending where everything gets a nice little bow wrapped on it. But
okay, that's cute.
Gales of Winter is a great closer, and I don't think it was lacking at all.
I feel like a lot of the songs in this kind of blend together for me. Like the ones that stick out more, I think, were the singles because I listened to them a lot before the album came out. But from the stretch of Where Sleeping Gods Await to Gales of Winter, the whole back half is just one like blob to me. And
I can
kinda
agree
wish
with
the
that.
songs themselves were more distinct rather than just like this is the one where they go a lot.
All right.
Exactly that sound.
And my
What
favorite
would you rate
songs.
this
uh,
album?
Yeah, what favorite songs go?
My favorite songs were Heart for Yearning Journey, Fiery Seas and the Icy Winds, Where Sleeping Gods Await, and Gales of Winter. So beginning,
It's
middle,
like
and end.
all of it.
No, it's,
I would agree. I would
it's-
say those are my favorites too.
it is exactly the beginning, the middle, and the end of the album.
Yeah, so it's like if you
Cool.
start strong, you kind of dip back down, and then you jump back up in the middle, and then you're dipping back down for it, and then back for a big ending.
Yeah.
So I'm interested to see like where Shadow Strike goes from here, as like the songwriting matures beyond Matt being in high school and a fan of Dragonforce.
He's been sitting on a lot of these songs for like a decade, just not having the chance to do anything with them.
Is that like the thing now, where it's like you get this kid, like someone maybe our age or a bit older, who they grew up listening to Dragonforce and like, damn, I wish I could do this. They get some ideas down. They start learning more about music. They finally get that first album out. And it's like they've been sitting on this shit for a decade.
That sounds pretty typical.
I mean, if I
Right.
ever get good, I'll probably do the same thing.
Okay. Well, we'll be looking forward to your first album in 2029. then.
Coming in 2030, maybe.
2029,
But
2030.
Stella, to answer your question, what would I rate it? I'd give it 5 guitar wanks out of 7.
Oh, perfect. 5 out of
Yeah.
7. Not Mimi at all. Nice. Okay, so does that wrap it up for our Shadow Strike review?
I think so.
Okay, cool. So to take it back a notch, not in terms of album quality, but in terms of musical age timeline, we want to talk about North-Tail. Welcome to Paradise.
Hey, these guys. Remember
Yeah.
North-Tail?
So yeah, North-Tail. We had him on our show. Bill and Christian are our friends now, I hope. Yeah, I mean, I've been chatting on Facebook about this album with Bill for a little bit, and we've been listening to this for a few months now. But it just got released recently, and in our interview when we talked to them, all we had heard from this was a single, which was
There's the original version of the single as well.
yeah. Yeah, the original version of Shape Your Reality. That's all we had based off of. And this was hyped a lot to us.
Yes.
It was like, this is for fans of Andre Matos era Angra and like early Stratovarius, and for fans of classic 90s power metal. Do you guys think it delivered?
Yeah.
Yes.
I think it
100%.
delivers on being very
Short answer, yes.
traditional power metal.
It delivered
Yes.
exactly what he said
Yeah.
it would be. In
Everything.
And nothing more.
Oh,
Yeah,
No
he
frills.
said it would be a revival, quote unquote, of the golden age of power metal, and that's what it was. And I enjoyed it.
Yeah.
Cool.
I enjoyed it a lot as well. At least 70% of the album. I keep listening
Yeah,
back again, but
there are a couple snoozers on
Yeah,
there.
there's a couple
There-
songs that
There's only 2 tracks that I skip.
the
Ballads.
two like ballads.
The second ballad I'm fine with, but I didn't like the
skipped
first
2
ballad.
ballads.
Way of the Light, which I think that was a ballad that was shoehorned in
That's
for the
the
sake of
ballad.
having a ballad.
That's the one that goes so far away.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We wait for the day.
If it said that, it would be better.
But I think
Yeah.
that was a ballad that was put in for the sake of having a ballad, and we've talked about that in the past on our ballads episode. They also moved the Japanese bonus track into the album proper.
Yeah, it used to be
Everyone's a
like
Star.
Everyone's a Star used to be the bonus track, but now it's like integrated in the album because I guess it's super important for everyone to see. So Bill said this was like the tribute to Swedish pop.
Yeah.
I can see
It's
that.
super out of place.
Yeah.
It's
that's
definitely
over, yeah.
out of place on
It's
the
out
album.
of place.
Though.
Yeah,
It should
this
have
is like the kind
stayed a
of
bonus track.
So this song is like it's kind of a fun parody, it seems. This is kind of the direction that power metal bands are going to
Yeah.
nowadays. They're literal tributes to Swedish
It-
pop. And the lyrics for this song are hilarious.
Yeah, like the hashtag, whatever bullshit, pumping
Hashtag
iron.
and then like, do you even lift?
Yeah.
it's a very
Dark
strange
face.
song.
I never
Sex
thought
appeal.
I would hear "Do you even lift" as power, like quote unquote power metal. I can't. Call
I
this
wouldn't
power
either.
metal.
Not
What
at
this
all.
is.
It's not, no.
Yeah.
No, this is a Swedish pop
It shouldn't-
song. This is
Yeah,
amazing.
it should be at the most released as its own thing with a video or something just to make the statement, but it
Oh
shouldn't
my
be
god!
part
What
of.
if they did a lifting montage?
Yeah.
That would be. So
If they did like
be
a
in the
silly
album.
video with this, I'd be down for that.
This is like
yeah.
a workout anthem.
If they did,
Yeah.
if like with Norwegian Reggaeton, it wasn't on an album. It was just a song that they made and put a video out for. If they had done the same
Yeah.
thing, it would be, I think, better as its own thing. It's not very representative as the band of a whole, though, which could be a problem.
Yeah, but it's like in the middle of.
Yeah,
all,
it shouldn't be in the
like-
middle of
It's
the
in the
album.
middle of
Sandwiched.
like the best part of the album too.
It's sandwiched by these classic, like early Strato tribute, like straightforward power
Like
metal
Shape
songs.
Your Reality through Playing with Fire is like I think the best part of the album. And it's
It's
just
literal
it's just
fire.
right in the
It's
middle,
amazing.
ruining the whole flow.
Yeah, like when I first heard this album, however many months ago, like I was like blown away. I'm like, wow, this album fucking slaps. I think my opinion of it has tempered a bit since then.
Yeah.
Like, and as it's come out publicly and more people have listened to it, people say, oh, it's super generic and cliche, doesn't do anything new, which I can kind of understand. It is, I would say, a very conservative power metal album. Like you're gonna get, a dozen or so just like very straightforward power metal, fast, melodic, fun, catchy things. Not that that's a bad thing, but I feel like the main concern I had for this album before it came out was what's it going to do to really take that next step. They talked about this a little bit in the interview about I think they mostly push the lyrical side of it, being this more introspective side of thing, which is nice, and I do like that part of it. I don't think it's enough though.
Yeah, musically, it's like adding another album from that era to your collection, which is nice to have to listen to like freshen things up a bit just by virtue of being new songs. But it's definitely not breaking new ground, which wasn't the thing that they tried to do either.
Yeah, and I don't think everything
So-
needs to break new ground either.
Hmm.
We'll see what they do.
So we can't be expecting that much.
We'll see what North-Sail does next. That'll be interesting.
Yeah, that will be interesting. What
I think
what
that's
they
going to
do
be the
next.
more interesting thing. Is this going to be a one and done supergroup, quote unquote supergroup? Are they going to push the envelope next, or are they going to release the same album again?
I think it's important to pay attention to their performance at Sabaton Open Air and see how that goes,
See how the crowd feels
because
about
that
it.
will
Yeah.
be that will be the test of this is a band that can give a great performance, and it's worth it's worth it for it to keep going, and we'll see what they can bring next time. But at least Shape Your Reality is a really nice song. Welcome to Paradise is a really nice song. Sirens Fall
Yeah, I feel
is
like
just
the
banger.
the melodies are very well written.
Yeah.
And I really like the guitar riffs that are played along with the melodies. I like the little like choral I guess like harmonized chorus flourishes, which is very Angra style.
Yeah.
And I think this is like a well-rounded album. It's very classic. Like if you are really nostalgic for, let's say, like Twilight Time and Dream Space and like episode era Stradivarius, like this will really relieve your nostalgia.
This album, it's like a warm blanket. It's like when you go and you meet up with your college
Yeah.
buddy from 15 years ago. You're like, hey, bro, let's go grab a beer. And you're like, yeah, bro, it's been a
Let's
while.
go grab a beer.
And then
We'll
you
just,
have a
we'll
grand
listen
time to
to
get some beers, some
Carry On.
wings. You listen to Carry On like way too much. And
Are you describing my life?
I
Like,
think he's
that's
describing what
literally
he
me
did
right
like
now.
2 days ago.
I'm describing everyone's
Yeah.
life,
You're
Stella.
describing all our lives.
I will say, you guys haven't mentioned it yet. I really like the song "If Angels Are Real." I think that one has like probably the most touching lyrics out of all the song.
Oh yeah.
Where it's like,
Yeah, they put a lot of thought into their lyrics. Like there's a lot about feeling anxious and like the harsh realities of the world and yeah, the lyrical themes are definitely not fantasy. Everything is about real feelings and stuff. And like feelings are something that people don't want to talk about.
what if power metal had feelings, man?
What if I don't want to talk about my feelings. I want to talk about dragons, purple ones, you know? But this is like, no. Like, this is reality. We're going to throw it back to 90s power metal. You're going to listen to these riffs. You can't hide behind all the goddamn orchestra and synths. You're going to face your feelings.
I couldn't have said it better myself.
Yeah, that's my review of this album. It's like 9 feelings out of tears of sorrow. But I love this album, don't get me wrong. Like I listen to this so much. I've had this for like a few months now and it's like amazing. I love this album.
Great.
Very well. What's everyone's favorite tracks on here?
So
The first one,
Yeah, Welcome to Paradise definitely
Welcome
is
to Paradise.
one of the
Best
strongest
one.
ones.
Yeah.
Welcome to Paradise and Sirens Fall probably.
For me, it's either Sirens Fall or
Yeah,
Bring Down
yeah.
the Mountain for me.
yeah.
And then if I'm feeling a little basic, everyone's a star. But like I kind of broke my leg, so I can't really be a star right now.
No, everyone's a star, even with your broken leg.
Everyone.
Even with my broken ass leg. Oh my god, I'm just like hoping I can walk again by Frog Power. I have a month.
They've got chairs at Prague Power.
Yeah, I'll just hang out with all the seniors.
Ooh, at the old
There's
person
people in
festival.
wheelchairs at Prague Power.
Yeah. No, I love that there's like older folks at Frog Power. Like I want that to be me when I'm an old lady. Still going to
The
shows
venue
and
actually has
stuff.
access for wheelchairs, so maybe we can get
For
you.
disabled
Maybe we
people.
can get you a wheelchair.
Okay. Yeah. Shout outs to venues that have access for all sorts of people. I love that.
We're not gonna push you though.
Okay.
You gotta wheel yourself.
I can do that. Like, I'm getting so strong from crutching myself around. Like, I'm gonna have giant arms and no legs.
I think
There you go.
that our listeners deserve to know what we're talking about, because maybe they'll just worry
Yeah.
that,
It's a great story.
that you'll never walk again, and they don't know why.
Oh yeah. Yeah. I fucking like hurt myself playing Dance Dance
A
Revolution.
tragic DDR accident
Yeah.
resulted
Yeah, it's
in
the tragic DDR accident that is totally changing my life right now. It's horrible.
DDR is not ergonomic, people.
No, it's not.
The-
DDR is
y-
extremely
Your feet
unergonomic.
don't go those ways. The arrows point.
Yeah, so be careful, be safe, and stay indoors. That's
well,
what my
DDR is
message is.
indoors. That's not going to help.
Damn it. I guess we're screwed.
Just stay sitting and listen to power metal.
Yeah. In particular, Majestica.
Yes.
All right, so Majestica is the project of, I don't know how to pronounce this guy's name, like his stage name, Tommy Johansson.
Tommy Rainseed.
It's I don't
I just said rain.
I don't know
I thought it was like
Reindeer,
Ryan
but
Seed.
Yeah.
we don't see it.
Rain Seed. Okay, I guess like that name is so complicated that he just decided to change it to Majestica, which is easier to say.
Yeah, it's like a
and
reboot
they've
of the band
released-
Rainseed, which has been around for a while. They have quite a few albums from like 2010 era. They kind of were on hiatus with Tommy touring the world with Sabaton, but he's now sort of resurrected the band with this new album called Above the Sky and rebranded the band as Majestica, which I guess Nuclear Blast wanted or something.
I think I read an interview in which one of the band members said that they had a lot of bad blood with one of the old members, or just in particular with the band, and they just wanted to rebrand and make something new.
Huh.
So this is like the exact opposite of Rhapsody.
Well, maybe.
It's like, like they are not really happy with something with what they were before, and they wanted something new, so they make a new name.
Yeah.
While Rhapsody
yeah.
wants something new, keeping the same name.
Cool.
Well,
So
what do you guys
okay,
think
what
about
are your
this?
impressions of this album?
It's fun.
I think it is fun. I think they had a lot of fun making it, especially with tracks like Father Time or
Mhm.
whatever it's called.
Yeah.
I think it's
Yeah,
the
I don't know
best
how I
one.
feel about that track. It's just so wild.
Yeah,
It's
I'll
great.
say this
Musically, it's amazing. Lyrically, it's even better.
this album I really liked it when I first listened to it, and I've kept listening to it. It might be one of my favorites of the year. It's an album of the year contender for me.
Wow, that's a
Like,
big deal.
This one really clicks for me. Like it's like the right amount of guitar wankery, inspiring choruses, symphonic bullshit, and even the lyrics I think are really fun. There's a lot of meta qualities to it about power metal. Like,
Can someone explain to me what Father Time is about? I'm just
if you
so
read the lyrics,
confused
it's
by
even weirder than you might imagine.
It gets me. I know that's why I'm confused.
It's
What's
like
your interpretation?
Father Time finds out that his wife is like cheating on him, and so he kills the Sandman and Santa Claus, and it turns into a Christmas
Okay.
song. And then it's
Oh,
like the
cool.
New Year comes around, and it's so
You
weird.
know, it's like it's like the Frosty song from
Theocracy.
It's
Yeah,
very
from
similar to
Theocracy.
Frosty.
it's a
versus
story.
whatever.
Yeah, it's a story
Yeah.
using these magical constructs, people, and it's interesting. It's a fun story.
I love it.
I love the verse in Above the Sky where they just tell you the chords they're playing.
Yeah,
Oh
Yeah,
yeah,
that's like-
that
So
too.
meta.
That's
They
so
tell
funny.
you how to make a power metal song.
and I'm gonna say I'm one
Yeah.
of those people that doesn't pay attention to lyrics, so I didn't know until someone pointed it out and posted
Yeah, I
the
didn't know at
lyrics.
first either.
It just went past through. I didn't pay attention, but yeah, there's a whole paragraph that's just explaining what's going on in the song, and that's
Like
it works.
you were talking about Father Time for a second, and you said, "Oh, it starts off really weird." And one of the lyrics of that is, And if you think I'm crazy just because the way I sing, well, that's just how this stupid song begins. And then the drums kick up and it starts going.
It's so meta. I feel like
It's a very meta
Tommy
album.
is aware of like how ridiculous Euro power is.
If you look up some of Tommy's stuff on YouTube from back in the day, he's very like in tune with the Euro power metal scene.
Yeah.
Like he was referencing like Lost Horizon and Camelot and stuff.
Oh, that's awesome.
And in this song,
Yeah.
they have a song called Future Land, which, that sounds reminiscent of Future World. And the solo of that song sounds like straight Helloween.
Dude, I cannot get the Eurobeat Futureland out of my head just from the name. Futureland. No, that's not the
And
song.
he's not dumb, so he knows Father Time sounds like a Stradivarius song, even though the song itself is very different.
There is a Father Time song by Strato.
And Motley True
Yeah,
instead of Motley Crew. Like,
Yeah.
oh, it's so cute.
Yeah.
Motley Throw.
And like, there's a part where it's like, oh,
It's a
now
hell
the
of a
drums
tribute.
are gonna speed up at the end of this bridge, and we're gonna go into the chorus. I get a kick out of this album. I really do.
So aside from the like really creatively self-aware lyrics, like I thought the vocal performance of this was great. I have a thing for deep voices right now. I'm going through a
Oh, so you
phase.
really
He
like
gets really high now
Sabotage then.
too.
I mean, like he has a very warm vocal tone, but he also sings really high. But I think the warmth still like carries.
I just
on.
love how happy he sounds while singing this album. Like this album is just super fucking happy.
You know, I clicked on the lyrics for like the main end song, The End Alliance Forever, and he says the lyric, "Hear how the story ends with a glorious smile now that we are free." So this is just
Ugh.
the happiest power metal that we're gonna get this year. Fuck Freedom Call, man.
I don't know, Freedom Call. I can't even classify that as power metal right now. I'm not even sure what that is.
I think
It's like
they're doing
ultimate dad rock,
Hard rock right now. I think they're doing
hard rock. Yeah,
Pretty
yeah,
much.
but they can spell
M-A-T-A-L.
M-E-E-T-A.
Very impressive.
I thought it was weird that Tommy was in Sabaton because their style is kind of different from Rain Zed stuff. But I guess he's just been saving it all for this.
For
this
this,
is like the real
yes.
power metal that he's doing on the side while he makes the Sabaton big bucks.
Tommy Unleashed.
Tommy
That's
Unleashed.
why I think he's just having fun here. He's doing whatever he wants.
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure.
I think it's amazing. I love it.
Yeah.
Because his career will be fine. He has Sabotage.
whatever.
Yeah, exactly.
So he can do
Yeah, I
whatever he
also
wants.
like
He can
that.
sell out and keep it true at the same time.
He's obviously pouring all of his creative energy that he doesn't get to express in Sabaton into Majestica.
Okay.
And I think that's really interesting, having him being a commercially viable band, and then in whatever the fuck happens with Majestica.
For sure.
Right.
That's really nice.
Yeah. Yeah, so if you are a fan of Tommy Rainseed, if you're a fan of, I guess, more modern Stradivarius, for fans of
Like
what
modern
else? What
symphonic
else?
power metal, I guess.
Yeah, modern symphonic power metal, you would probably like Majestica. It's called Above the Sky.
Symphonic.
Check it out. You guys have any last thoughts on this album?
There's two songs that are canon songs in this album.
There's two songs that are canon songs.
For fans of Canon, we love Canon.
The only song I didn't like was Night Call Girl. I think that one's kind of boring.
Is this more oversaturated 80s tributes?
It's the most like arena metal of all the songs on here. Ooh, random thought.
This one is for fans of synths.
The song "The Way to Redemption" is based on the game Red Dead Redemption.
Oh,
That's cool.
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 It's always fun to make references.
Yeah, this is a 5 out of 5, 10 out of 10 album. I love it.
Yep.
All right. So while we're on the wavelength of Tommy and his musical
No.
career,
We're almost there, Don.
Don.
We can stop here. Just stop
No,
recording.
we need to talk about this.
This is culturally
power metal.
relevant.
This is culturally relevant in power metal culture. So we're gonna talk about Sabaton's album, "The War of the War." Wait, no.
No,
Let's
that's
just call
that's
it
the
the
name.
Great
Sorry.
War.
It's the Great War.
It's called the
Yeah.
Great War. Oh my god, I can't believe I fucked it up.
Yeah,
It's called the Great War.
the War of the Wars is what I thought it was going to be called.
But you got pretty
I was
Yeah,
close.
so
yeah.
close.
I'm
And
sure,
then they
You
have
were
a
so
song
close.
I'm sure
called
they
"The End
heard
of the
it.
War to End All Wars."
Yeah, that's just Let's just
Just
rubbing
remove
it
a
in.
couple words, and I was right.
I'm pretty sure they heard the episode and changed it.
And they're like, "Fuck, we can't call it the War of the Wars. We're gonna that means the powerful guys win."
Just to not give us the
Can't let us win,
satisfaction.
man. Can't let us win.
So the album cover is the same like color palette as their last album. So I didn't realize they had a new album.
But this time the guy is sad because the World War One was
This time the
kinda
guy's
sucked.
face is in his hands because war is a terrible thing. Okay. All right. So what about this album? What do you guys think about it?
I was okay
Boring.
with this one.
I was bored.
Why were you bored? Tell me.
Because the Red Baron is Ghost Division and Night Witches. 7 Pillars of Wisdom is White Death. 82nd All the Way is Soldier of Three Armies, and parts of 7734 and No Bullets Fly. Devil Dogs is Aces and Exiles and Smoking Snakes, and Fields of Verdun is also Soldier of Three Armies.
You did your homework. I am so impressed.
Mhm.
Yeah, there was some collaboration on
There
our
was some
power level to
collaboration,
figure out
but
Yeah.
what
Yeah.
song was what from their past.
Yeah. No, that's
if
amazing.
you paid attention, that means they had Soldier of Three Armies on the album twice.
Yeah.
They must have really liked that template. So are you saying that Sabaton doesn't have songs, they have templates?
I'm not going to make a decision for anyone. I'm just going to
Okay.
provide
yeah.
evidence.
There were a few songs on this that I thought were different from other Sabaton songs, and I think those are probably
Oh,
my
yeah?
favorites. The first one, The Future of Warfare, sounds different.
Yes.
Attack of the Dead Men sounds different. And I actually like the last one, End of the War to End All Wars, because it is more on the
Last-
symphonic side rather
Last
than
one
just
is
like
in Flanders Fields.
the last real song.
And Flanders Fields is their best because it's not their song.
Because it doesn't sound like a Sabaton song.
Oh.
Well, the Future of Warfare is like more symphonic, I would say, more bombastic even. I think that's the way they should go and not just repeat themselves over and over again.
Yeah, like they have a lot of just the synthy pop songs with the same like two riffs that they know.
Yeah.
But guys, I want to read this quote by Par Sundstrom.
Yes, let's read
Of
the quote by
Sabaton.
Par Sundstrom.
Here, I'll read the quote. There's small evolvement all the time, but I think Sabaton's core sound remains. It's not the intention you buy a new Sabaton album and you'd be surprised and shocked about something new. It's more, you're gonna get more of the same stuff.
So they at least they're self-aware.
Yeah.
They are all reliable. If you are a fan of Sabaton's sound, you're probably gonna like this album,
Yeah, it's like you like it or you don't.
right?
Like they've got like a lot of the fun synthy pop songs. Like Red Baron is fun because Ghost Division is fun, and Shiroyama is fun.
Yeah.
You know,
There's
like Seven Pillars of Wisdom
you-
is literally the same riff as White Death,
So-
which I liked White Death.
Did you guys watch the live stream of Sabaton on
I did
Vine?
not.
I did not.
I watched that. I
Yeah?
had it on while I was
What
working.
did you think?
Mainly because the R Power Metal chat was talking about that only, and I wanted
Yeah,
to be.
I did that too. I was at work and I
I
put
wanted
it
to
on.
be in on the conversation, and they actually. I always hear that they give a great show, so I was curious, and it was like the things that they did were actually really cool, though they did sound exhausted, probably because of all the touring they've been doing. Like from the
Yeah, they tour a lot. My
yeah
God.
from the first song, Joachim and everyone else just sounded tired, but they pulled through a 2-hour set with the tanks and the pyro. That the pyro was great, and they had all this. The stage was like a multi-level stage, like Iron Maiden usually does, with barbed wire and stuff. They had a choir of soldiers standing there and singing, and then halfway through the set, they said it was. I think they mentioned they've been doing this for 20 years, and I'm really surprised to learn that. I actually didn't know.
This is the 20-year anniversary.
Sabaton's been around for a
of-
long time. Yeah, they just started getting big
In like the past 5
like,
years.
Yeah.
a few years ago.
They got big with Heroes. Heroes was like their big one. Because
That's
if you
so
remember, they were
crazy.
opening for Nightwish and the North American tour.
Yeah. Yeah.
When the last Nightwish album came out, not Decades, but the one before that.
Endless Forms.
Endless Forms. They were tour support for North America for Endless Forms Most Beautiful performing Heroes.
I feel like they really blew up after that.
Heroes
Yeah.
was the first one where they just went hard on like the singles, basically.
Mhm.
Like even this album, if you look at the tracks, all of them except for 2 are in the 3-minute range, and then there's 2 that are the 4-minute range.
That's incredible.
It's like they
They're
want to
very
be
efficient folks.
quick and dirty, get in, get out. You know.
Yeah, and one thing that they did that was really cool, I guess, for everyone that's a fan, that's a long-time fan, and that was there, is that they actually took over 2 stages out of Bakken, which are side by side, and they had all their ex-members play on the other stage, and they were playing together all at the same time. So you had like left Sabaton and right Sabaton playing.
Were they doing the same song simultaneously?
Yes. Like it was like 8
Oh, that's
people
neat.
playing.
That sounds like a cool experience, actually.
Just like I
Yeah.
guess that for a lot of people that are longtime fans, it might have been really nice because it's like a reunion. Like I'm not the
Pumpkins
guy that
United.
I wouldn't feel like you think 30-year-old bands, 40-year-old bands are reuniting, and learning that Sabaton is 20 years old and that it actually makes sense for them to have a reunion show. That's news to me because I honestly didn't know they existed 5 years ago, and I thought they were new.
Yeah. When did Prima Victoria come out? Like this was a long time
2005.
ago.
Oh,
There you
that's
go.
a
2005.
long time ago.
It's also very interesting to think that Sabaton has actually been putting on Sabaton Open Air apparently since 2008.
That's
They have?
a long time.
I just
Oh,
looked it up.
shit. I thought it'd been around for like 3 years.
They didn't have big bands until 2010, but in
Yeah.
2010 they got Gamma Ray and Pretty Maids to headline with them.
That's amazing.
Well,
yeah.
it makes sense that they've been doing it for a long time until they get that's a local festival. No matter how you look at it, it's a local festival in a local town that people from abroad don't really feel like going to, I guess, because
Yeah,
it's
like
not
Yeah.
a
Falun is
city.
just like a random place in Sweden.
Yeah.
But yeah, 2010 they had Gamma Ray Pretty Maids. That was they started in 2008, but they didn't really have anyone except for Sabaton until 2010. And then they got Gamma Ray Pretty Maids, and then in 2011 it was Helloween, Gravedigger, Freedom Call, Dream Evil, Entombed,
My
That's a
God.
lineup.
Um,
Whoa.
Holy power metal
Dynasty,
Batman.
Van Canto. 2012
well.
was kind of shit actually, but
For the longest time, I thought that Prima Victoria was a Van Canto song.
It has
Oh, that's
Joachim
so
on
funny.
it.
That's my level of awareness about
You're
Sabaton.
like Van Canto featuring this guy
Yeah.
with shades and a battle vest.
Who is this guy? Why is he a guest?
That's really funny. Well, say what you want about Sabaton. They certainly know their
They
way
made it.
around the industry. They're very well
Yeah,
connected. They're very like optimized
say what you want, but
in their
they got a
3-minute
they got a swimming
songs.
pool full of
They
cash
got this
and
shit
we
down
don't.
to a science. Yeah.
The Tank Factory works.
The Tank Factory
Yeah.
works.
They're doing the,
They've got their live shows dialed.
Yeah, their live shows are really fun. Like, I don't know. It doesn't really have the vibe of like a heavy metal show to me. It seems like theatrical, like you can sing along. Well, you can sing along with heavy metal too. But it's like really like bombastic and
It's a
Fun.
bombastic sing along party.
yeah, it's a party.
There is one thing to their credit that, based on everything that we say of doing the same thing over and over, in this album they released 3 versions of the album. You have the normal album, you have the history version, which has brief summaries of the historical context each song tackles of each event, and then you have I think they called it the soundtrack version.
Yeah, the soundtrack version.
Which
Yeah.
are orchestral arrangements of all the songs that honestly I didn't think I would listen to this album, but people were saying that the orchestral versions of the songs were really cool because it wasn't just the backing tracks that they use on the other songs, but actual full rearrangements.
Yeah, they didn't just take out the vocals and say, here you go. It's like
Yeah.
a full like
That
thing.
it's something that's worth listening to. I honestly listened to it and I found it really, really boring.
I
But-
liked it better than the
I don't
original
know.
album. I thought it was like superior to the original album.
I honestly didn't listen to the original album. I listened to Great War and the Red Baron when they came out. But I don't feel like listening to the other songs. Oh, I mean, I listened to some of them on the Wacken performance. But if you ask me, they just played Wind Hussars 6 times.
Yeah, I
Pretty
love that
much.
song. It's my jam.
I don't know. I think like the orchestral album, a lot of people would probably like it. If you like Sabaton and you've never got into orchestral music, be it in metal or classical music, listen to this because it's a great way to enter into the world. So go for it. Pay
And
attention
it is like a
to
legitimately different way to experience Sabaton's like songwriting.
Yes. Like it
The
doesn't.
songs do sound different.
Yeah, it doesn't sound like Sabaton. Besides the fact that they are Sabaton songs, so it's a different experience. It's probably
They were
worth it.
done by someone else, I think, not Sabaton. Someone outside of Sabaton, the soundtrack version at least.
Well, let's find that out and edit out the silence while I look for it.
Fact checking time.
Visual version
Hooray for
arranger.
editing.
I think, at least that's what I've heard. I didn't check.
Yeah,
If this is wrong, we'll just cut it all out.
Oh my god.
Magic of editing.
Maybe it's...
Now you can say embarrassing
Hi,
things.
future Darko.
Sorry for leaving you so much
no,
work.
it's okay. Please. I can't find anything about who did. Oh, Floor Jensen does vocals on the soundtrack edition. Oh, in the first
Yes,
track,
on
right?
the first song, yeah.
Ooh.
Yeah, she's like in the
Yeah.
background of something.
Auntie,
Imagine if Joachim just like dipped out of Sabaton and Floor took his place. How
That'd be
Oh
so
fucking
my god,
weird
weird.
that would
Floor
be.
just
That
did
would be
Sabaton
weird.
songs.
Yeah,
Anti-Maki
Because
Titan.
they don't have
Right.
the his cool baritone voice that they go
Yeah,
back
like the-
over anymore.
Sabaton's trademark is
Yeah.
Joachim's vocal
Is
That's
tone.
the
voice.
thing that like fans point to, saying Sabaton is good.
I have a deep voice.
Great
He's the best
war.
vocalist ever because he's deep.
Deep voice.
Something tank war.
Yeah.
The war
Great
of the wars.
war. I want to eat more.
Oh my god. The rhyming of Sabaton songs is like totally off the wall though. Best rhymes, sick beats.
Great.
The new Sabaton rap
war.
album is gonna be
Yeah.
sick.
What was that song where like he rhymes nation and motivation and something Asian like 12 times? I don't know song titles. I am sorry.
Was it Winged Hussars?
Oh my god.
And the Winged
Hell
Hussars
arrives.
arrive, coming down the mountainside.
Arrive in mountainside, don't rhyme.
They're almost rhymes. There's a word for that, where it's like an
Almost.
almost rhyme.
Yeah, there's a word for almost.
I looked
rhyme.
at the lyrics of the Great War, and it's what you'd expect. You're like they are about different parts or people in the First World War, but it's the usual
Wow.
Sabaton problem of Wikipedia,
Wikipedia
article.
articles. Yeah.
It's
Swap the dates, the place, and you could basically make anything apply.
Cool. Are we leaving all this in? Or is this like in our post editing?
We're including some of it.
what's
Or-
happening.
Are we still fact
I am
checking?
still fact checking, but everything you guys were saying will stay because it's content.
Yeah, I don't even know what's happening
okay.
right now.
Like I was saying, Sabaton's historical side doesn't really meet the same level that something like Judicator or Serenity do when they're basing their historical lyrics. I kind of wish Sabaton would be a bit more detailed or even more, I don't know, poetic or something with it rather than just, here's a dude, here's some numbers, here's a
Here's the
place.
date,
They fought and it
dates.
sucks.
And war is terrible, and this is when it happened. And we're gonna rhyme stuff with nation like 12 times.
I don't want a month. I don't want a year. Oh, that's not important, Sabaton.
Army ratios, that's what's important.
Army ratios. How many to one? How outnumbered were
15
they?
to 1, I think.
15 to 1. That's
Baptized in fire,
That's not as bad as-
40-1. That still
yeah, that's
gets
not
me.
as bad as
40 to 1 is a good song.
Yeah,
it's a
but in
great song.
Shiriyama, it was what, like 300 to 1?
Yeah, something
So-
like that.
Yeah. The samurai were
Sorry, Don.
fucked.
Oh no.
Sorry, Don. The Wing Two Stars got nothing. Oh wait, I'm mixing songs up. Whoops.
So do they.
Jesus. Okay, are we gonna wrap up this Sabaton review?
We
Or are
should.
we
I think
still,
so.
still fact
Yeah, I think
checking?
we should.
The orchestration, what is it called? Soundtrack version?
Yeah, the soundtrack
Yes, it
version.
was made by Antti Martikainen, whoever he is. But it was made by him.
Well, good job to that guy.
Yeah.
He sounds Finnish. Is he Finnish?
He is Norwegian
Swedish?
for sure. He's from Finland.
Oh wow. Ah, there you go.
Close.
All right. Well, shout outs to that guy for a excellent orchestral album. Sabaton, The Great War, also known as the War of the Wars.
Great
For
War.
fans of Sabaton,
Yeah.
for fans of Civil War, for fans of Wikipedia, for fans of Powerwolf. So check it out if you want. So that I think that just about wraps up our episode for tonight. We've had a lot of news and we've had a lot of reviews today, and if you want refreshers on all of these, check out our website at powerful-podcast.com and message us. We love to hear from you. We read all of our listener messages. Powerful Podcast on Facebook, and support us on Patreon if you have $1 lying around a month.
And the next
yeah.
couple episodes are gonna probably be some raw powers because Mad with Powers next week.
Yeah.
Oh my God, Matter of Power is coming up. We're sending Biscuit and Kyle as our field reporters to investigate the lands of Madison, Wisconsin.
I hear there's a lot of beer
with
and
our-
sausage out there that we're gonna have to get to the
Yeah,
bottom
there's
to.
a lot of beer fest and sausage fest. They've got our like fancy little Patreon funded recorder, which we super appreciate all our supporters for their
Oh,
contributions.
dude, Kyle, we should go around the beer fest and just ask normies about metal.
What is your
I'm gonna say,
opinion
oh,
of
I
power
don't listen
metal?
to screamo, bro.
I think that'd be a cool segment.
And it's mostly like, what's power metal? And I'm like, you know what? I actually don't even know either.
I think a lot of those two festivals are just gonna be us walking around recording random bullshit.
yeah.
We might edit some of it. Maybe I'll just email it to all to Darko and say, here, you deal with this.
yeah.
Yeah, just send everything.
So that's Mad with Power, and then in November we'll
September.
see you guys IRL at Prague Power USA in Atlanta,
September,
Georgia.
not November.
November.
Sorry, September. Well, I was thinking of Sabaton lyrics. We remember November.
In
In
September.
Fucking hell! You know what? Months are
When the
hard.
winged two stars arrived. God damn it.
Oh, God.
Do-do-do-do.
And I'd like to plug our YouTube meme, which was Kyle's byproduct from like last year. He just go to YouTube and type in, what is it?
The absolute state of power metal.
Yeah, absolute state of power metal, and then you'll see our contribution to the internet.
And then
Yeah.
bringing it back around to the website real quick. We are gonna try and post more text reviews, hopefully. Short
Yeah,
form,
we're
not
gonna-
long form, like actual like magazines,
paragraph.
but like maybe a page instead of
Yeah.
6 pages. I don't know.
So yeah, lots of fun stuff appearing on our website soon. So check it
The
out.
North Tail
if you want.
review is up as of like yesterday or something. So expect more in the future.
Sweet.
Maybe there will already be more because it's the future when this comes out.
Yeah. You're listening to this in the future. Ooh.
Hello, future friends.
Wow.
Okay, well, if you made it this far, I am thoroughly impressed, and we love you and stuff.
Stay powerful.
Stay
Stay powerful,
powerful.
End.
All right, end. Stop.